So, hi. We have this very special chakra. It's the second chakra in our body, the energy center. And you can literally generate any amount of creativity from it. It is, you could say it's the most dynamic feeling when you connect to your inner self, and you can feel like I experienced once how, for example, Mozart with his notes, his notes pouring out notes. But he had endless supply of notes, musical notes, but he would have to arrange them. He would have an idea. Okay, I have an idea. Now he wants to express his feelings, you see. So he would just put his attention, from his spirit, his attention would come. Actually, it's not, you don't create from the mind. The mind is the helper. So the mind is there helping, but actually in our heart is the spirit. So it's an interesting combination because the Swadhisthana is the second chakra down below here, and but when it gets working, you see this area has organs that create the gray cells for the brain. So actually the quality of the brain, of the thoughts, come from that energy center down there through these organs. But then once it's working, once the process is flowing, the heart comes in, this heart center that we all know and feel sometimes. And it when you have the connection to your spirit through the heart, and actually the connection goes up because we have this subtle system that's in our spine and it goes all the way up. And when it's connected here, you have the whole source, but you feel it in your heart. It's reflected in your heart. So you have the whole source, you feel it in your heart, and this is running, the Swadhisthana chakras, and then the heart comes in, it opens, and the brain gets that light, and you just have the idea, say, I want to create this mood or this, this scene or something, or this shape. And then it just comes. Like, imagine Mozart with all his notes, he had so many instruments running in his head, you could say, and combining the harmonies and everything. But it just came. He had instant access to this process, and he would just make the goal, I want this idea, this feeling, and the notes, they would come from this unlimited source, and they'd arrange themselves, and he'd have that idea that he wanted exactly. Yes, that's it. And then the next instrument, and then harmony, and then the other next symphony, and all that. And once I just felt that when the heart completely opened, and I could feel this Swadhisthana chakra just very peaceful and flowing nicely. And the heart with its connection, and then the brain, the amazing brain with all its synapses, and in a split of a second you can have an idea. And the same I felt was with Shakespeare. He literally, he could combine the words. He would have an idea, he wants to express this. The words would come and arrange themselves instantly in a most amazing way that nobody had ever heard of. In that time in England, English language was just forming spontaneously. From village to village, people sometimes didn't understand each other because it was changing so quickly. People would add words from French, and Shakespeare literally made up new words, and we still use them today. They're in the dictionary. So once this process is flowing, if you can stay in that state, if you can reach that state and stay in it, you can have unlimited access and instant access to whatever material you're using, whether it's musical notes or words or in the case of my wife, she does the beautiful ceramic sculptures, and she takes the clay, she starts using it, and then like Michelangelo said, you know, he was carving the marble, and he said that the statue, he could feel it, see it already in that block of marble. It was just there waiting. He just had to take away the extra stone, and then these beautiful statues are, you know, elegant with the hair and the eyes and, you know, flowing garments. And so yeah, it's, I mean, basically everything you see, the nature, it's all flowing, it's all, and it's more than just creativity. The source of all of this is actually, if you feel it, if you meditate on it, it's actually love. It's love and intelligence, and it gives you joy and peace. And the creativity just never stops. I'll tell you a little secret. My wife has always had a workshop where she works, and I just, you know, did some things here and there. I help her. But I spent about a year building my own studio. So I have 20 square meters, beautifully arranged, big space where I can just go now, starting now, and just without any disturbance, go in there and see what happens. You know, I can take some paper, I can take something, anything I see, I can just, you know, like the children, if you watch them, even if they're sitting at the airport, you know, actually boredom is a very helpful thing, because if you're bored, then you start doing things and you look around and you become resourceful and you start playing around with things and doing little, just whatever comes out of your heart. So yeah, so this is the new phase. I think I'm getting my second childhood now after many years of growing up. But if you meditate deeply, especially on this second chakra, you know, we live in the West, and it's always so much tension and thinking, random thinking going on, and it actually damages this lower energy center, not just in your head, but actually down below where the energy comes from to create the brain. And over the years in meditation, I could feel down in that area the tension in the muscles. You know, it's always squeezing. You go out in public and everybody's under stress, and you have this tension, thinking all the time, random thinking. And the wonderful thing about meditation is the random thinking, I mean, you shouldn't try to force it to stop. People say you can do mindfulness or something, but it's not mindfulness, it's you just watch it, it's just a play. And you say, oh. As soon as you start watching it, it just becomes quiet. You're separated from it, you're watching it from here. And the wonderful thing is that you can look into your body, into these subtle centers, from here. If you can put your attention up here, you get this peace, and then you look in your body. As soon as you look at a tension place, it just immediately releases. And imagine all the people running around. If you could just get that. I remember, 39 years ago when I showed my mother about meditating. She said the next day she said she was in the shopping mall, and she just sat down to rest, and then she just put her attention up here, and then she felt such a peace, like a light and a peace. And this is what really artists need, because artists use a lot of energy, and it's going on and on. It's a process, and you need to be. It's not good to have a closed system that it gets exhausted, like a battery that runs out without a charger. If you get this energy rising up, and you can really get your attention here, you can combine your attention with keeping it here and putting it on another spot. It's like a double thing if you practice. And you're connected to the mains. Your battery never runs out. It's like perpetual energy. You don't. This is what they're all dreaming. Well, I guess the money-making corporations don't dream of it, but ideally, the human race, if we could get perpetual energy, that you never have to renew. And this is what human beings have. We have actually been created to have perpetual energy. In fact, the cells in the body, they are still living in like a sort of a dark age where they get confused, they don't know. If every cell had its proper information coming to it, we would never get sick because the cell would just know what to do. So when we get fully this connection established, literally we will never get sick because the cells, I mean, in a way it sounds logical that the cells should be able to do that already, but it's just that we're not evolved to that point. We are still evolving. So yeah, it's an amazing thing, I think artists are quite a special part of creation because they're able to show everybody things in a new way that this is the world, this is life. I never really thought of it, I never saw it like that. So once you have this unlimited connection, it's the best because these kind of creations last forever. People go to the museums for hundreds of years and, always want to see them because they have these beautiful vibrations from the source. So wishing you all the best for that.